Hey everyone, Christian back here, and I am going to finish a vlog that I started earlier. Well, it's not earlier, yesterday. Maybe it's 2 days ago, but because of my wisdom tooth extraction, I was having really bad jaw pain, and I really couldn't talk anymore. So hopefully that's gotten a little bit better, especially later this afternoon. So I'm here with a trio. Actually, there's 6 of them here. A sextuplet, a six pack of Bismarckia nobilis. Now, you guys may have seen this palm in other videos or driving around Florida. This, probably as much as this and the foxtail, are probably the 2 palms to have broken through the landscape boom more in the late 20th, early 21st century than any other palm in Florida. I'd say more from like 2000 to 2015, it really just erupted. Like, everyone wanted a Bismarck or a foxtail, and understandably so. Foxtails have a nice, crown shafted top, feathery leaves. Bismarcks have big, silvery palmate leaves, much like a palmetto on steroids, but really white. Looks like it's got snowed on, or someone threw flour over it. So here is a trio of them. They're native to north central Madagascar, the magical island where so many nice palms come from, and it is a monotypic genus, meaning there's only one species in the genus. So it's nobilis is the species, Bismarckia is the genus, and it's known as a Bismarck palm. And I believe it is named the Bismarck after Otto von Bismarck, the first Chancellor of Germany. I believe 1870 something. I took European history in college. I think that's when it was. Anyway, that's not really pertinent to the plant, but we're gonna get to the cultivation of the plant now. Like I said, it's from north central Madagascar. It grows in not a semi-arid, but more of a savanna type climate, much like central and south Florida. It doesn't freeze there. However, it's a little bit drier, and because of the drought situations that it does experience in habitat, it actually is relatively cold hardy. The silver Bismarck is. Now, there is a big difference between the silver Bismarcks and the green Bismarcks, which grow at a lowland area. They actually grow off on some of the coastal islands of the northwest, and they are like a Mayotte Island. There's actually a variety called Mayotte Island. It's totally green, looks like a big palmetto. It gets all ratty in the wind, and it burns up at 32 degrees. And you won't see it here very much, because it just, I hate to say it, but it doesn't even compare to the silver Bismarcks, which probably can take down to 24, 25 before they see any significant damage, if you have really good genes in them. So they're quite massive. We'll get a little close up here. These petioles are petiole bases are split. See how you got the split here? It's not one. This is not just one thing going on the base. It's split here, right? So that's a marking of a Bismarck versus, say, there are other big, like Copernicias, for example. You would know this is not a Copernicia because Copernicias don't have that split. It has an entire base there. So so it kind of makes for like a thatching, where other palm like sables will do this, Coryphus will do this, and a couple other genera of palms will do this as well. See this fuzzy red tomentum that's growing on the base there of the crown. You can see up there into the crown that the spears kind of have that beautiful red fuzz. It does go away in time, but it still definitely stays silver. So the other thing about this palm is that it is it's dioecious, meaning it needs a male and a female to produce seeds. So if you see a flower bract, which unfortunately is not that pretty, it just is red, looks like a black snake kind of coming out, you'll see either male or female flowers. You'll be able to tell the female ones will kind of put out this bunk seed. That's not fertilized, and it'll drop to the ground unless a male is present. The male ones will just put out these kind of snaky looking flowers that don't have any sort of real color to them except for being black. So these really look better in full sun. Now these over here do get some sun, but you can see this one's a little more stretched out. It's not quite as silver. The sun really contributes to that silvery white. I mean, if you look at the whiteness, that's my hand. You can see Hand is, you know, very, I don't know. I mean, it's white. I'm a pretty pale person, so that's how white it is there. So with that said, you know, if you want to grow this, grow it in full sun for sure. It's gonna need quite a bit of room. There's 6 here that they take up. They're about as closely spaced together as you would want to space them and still look good. And they'll also get a little stouter, and their leaves won't get nice and floppy, and they'll be more silver for sure. So with all that said, the seed, now Bismarcks are, another thing about them is they're like sables. They don't like being transplanted. You can't just dig this up and move it somewhere. You have to root prune it. It takes about 3 months. So when you plant it, know where you're going to want it in for sure for long term. Because for example, this is a Bismarckia here. You can just dig this guy right up and put him somewhere else, and he probably won't even skip a beat. This guy will definitely kick it. So like I said, full sun, unless you need the cold protection, you know, from a canopy. And the seed, when you get the seed, it's going to look like it's about the size of a golf ball, maybe a little bit smaller. It's going to have these little wings on it, and the seeds can vary from having almost no wings to being very wingy, having a lot of like crevices in there. So for germinating them, put them in a hot bin. I think I actually did a video on that. Put them somewhere hot, let them pop open. You'll see a little radical come out. Put them in a very deep pot. They have very deep roots initially, and then you can plant them. You can repot them into a 3-gallon or so, or plant them right in the ground. You can plant them down as strap leaves, and they go fine right into the ground. They're really nice about that. They're fairly fast growing for their size, or they grow faster than palmettos or any in that genus. So anyway, before I start repeating myself, I'll go ahead and end this video here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and go ahead and click subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. There'll be many more to come. Again, I forgot I was going to do the rating thing. I'm going to give this Bismarck, for Florida at least, an overall rating of 8. Now, what goes into the factoring of that? 8 out of 10, I will say. What goes into that factoring is the fact that it's very cold hardy, relatively cold hardy. It has a nice color to it. It gives a good structural element to a garden. It's not that invasive because you need a male and a female to produce seed. Although if you have a male and female together, they'll produce a lot of seed, and I've seen that happen. And they're, you know, the downsides are is they do give out a decent amount of mess, but they leaves will just kind of fall off, and you can just pick them up. And they do take up a lot of room, which is a little bit of a downside. They're a little hard to transplant. That takes a little bit away, but otherwise, you know, it's a really nice palm. You can't go wrong really with a Bismarck, unless you don't have much room. Then be a little bit careful. Don't plant it over a septic field. You will regret it. It will break your pipes. So with that said, I'll leave you there, and I hope you have a good weekend or a good week, which depending on when I do put this video out. And I hope you guys are around for the next video. Have a good one.